What's up, guys? Let's give it a few minutes for everyone to kind of get in here, and then we will start. What's up? What did everyone trade today? What's up, man? Can everyone hear me all right? Just doing a sound check real quick. If you could hear me, just say like yes or something. What's up, Sam? CRIS, NCTY. Sat on my hands. Okay. So we'll give it a few minutes for everyone to kind of get in here, and then we'll start. I asked everyone in the room kind of what topics they had, so I have like a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to go over. But I'm going to kind of recap some of the trades I took today. I'm going to recap some of the things that I saw today. And then from there, we'll kind of open it up for Q&A. It's still kind of cold here, but it's not really cold enough to not go outside. So what's up, D. Oliver? My man. I know what you're up to right now. I definitely know what you're up to. Shit, man, if you lived next to me, we'd get in so much trouble. My MIC hat. What's up from Paris? Shit, that's sick. Alright, I'm gonna give it like another minute or two and then I'll get started. But I guess in the meantime, for the people that are in here, start to compile some questions that you kind of want me to answer when we get to the Q&A part of this. What's up from Canada? Shit. Market Maniac, what's up, man? Can't wait for it to get warm. Saturday's supposed to be beautiful out here. UK. Armand, what's up, man? That barbecue looked sick yesterday. Alright, so how was the game? Oh yeah, game was great, man. So I went to a hockey game for the first time ever on Saturday. And I asked the guys in the room, and I said, what are kind of like the best seats to sit at a hockey game? Because I'm going to go out with a girl. I don't know where the fuck to sit, this and that. So they said, sitting center ice is like the best place to sit. So I'm looking at tickets, I'm buying them. And I ended up spending like $200 a ticket. So it was like $400 total. And I was like, that seems like a little bit expensive. Like, I didn't know fucking hockey games were fucking $200 a ticket. So I get there, and when I walk in, turns out I bought tickets for like club access. So I got free food and free alcohol when I walked in. And, they gave me like a wristband. They fucking scanned my thing and they're like, hey, everything you see here is free. All the drinks are free. All the food is free. And I'm like, what? No wonder the tickets were so fucking expensive. So, I don't know. That was kind of my experience. It was a good time. It was a good game. Girl I went with really enjoyed it, and that's all that fucking mattered. All right, let's start. So, what was I thinking going into today, right? So before anything started gapping up, before anything started moving, I was talking to the guys in the room, and I mentioned that, Mondays are my worst performing days. And why is that? The truth of the matter is because after a long weekend, or after any weekend at all I think about is trading. All I think about is coming to the market on Monday and attacking. And what that's led to is me getting FOMO with my entries, meaning that I get a little bit too overeager and I get a little bit too excited and I blow my load too quickly in my trades. So Mondays historically have been my worst performing days. So it took me to kind of track my statistics of Mondays to recognize that I gotta take it slow on Mondays. I gotta just take a breath, take it slow, identify my setups, and remove the urge for FOMO. So coming into today, I woke up a little bit late. I didn't really sleep too well last night. So like these are the things that people think are not important, but these are the things that matter the most. Getting a good amount of sleep, waking up, breakfast, exercise, all this shit before you trade is just as important as when you're trading. So that's why I'm kind of trying to recap it. So woke up in the morning, 7 a.m., which is a little bit late for me. I usually wake up an hour or 2 hours earlier. And that was because I slept late at night and I didn't really get much sleep. So coming into the morning, I saw stock NCTY gapping up, right? And when I saw it, it was at like 470 or 480. It was right near the top. And my mentality was, okay, let me start to do my research on this setup. Let me start to see what I could kind of find out from the setup. So walk into the day and I see that's low float. Okay, low float. Number two, I see that SSR is on. Okay. I see that's gapping up big. Okay. So when I see all these things, and when I looked into the filings at that point, I didn't really see anything that kind of was a big red flag. Later on, I guess there was a couple red flags that I didn't really notice until later. They were just really dug deep in there. So I assumed that this thing had no dilution. So coming into the day, I see all these things and I think to myself, this is a hard setup. So here comes a stock that is a low float, that is on SSR, that is on day one, and it's a fucking Monday. So to me, this had all the warning signs like, oh shit, Alex, don't fuck with this. This is a setup that's gonna fuck you on a Monday. This is a setup that's gonna cause you to get FOMO. This is a setup that might ruin your day. So how do we attack day ones now, right? So, Bao and I have been discussing for a long time, finding a process for these day ones because, we had an idea of how to trade them and we knew what we were doing, but there was never a set tangible process. It was more based on like intuition and based on what we saw and based on what we thought. But now we have it down to kind of like a science. We have it down to a process. So when I saw NCTY at 470 or 480 in the morning, my plan was, fuck dude, this is not a short. I'm not gonna touch it. This is not proving anything to me. So what did I do? What is the process of shorting on day ones? What is the process of attacking these on day ones? It is to identify the death line. And what is the death line? The death line is the last support where longs are completely underwater. And when longs become underwater, every single pop they're going to try to sell into. Every single pop, shorts are going to be in control. Every single pop is going to lead to a drop, right? So after we identify this line on NCTY, which I identified as $4, but Bao likes to be a little bit safer and he waited for 380, right? So call the range around 380, $4, maybe cut it in the middle, put 390 just to make it easy for us, right? So if you draw a line around that level, you could see that after that point, when that stock breaks that level, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. So how do you trade it, right? How do you trade it? So coming into the day, pre-market, it starts selling off and selling off and selling off. And my mentality was, okay, let it sell off, let it trap, let it do whatever it fucking wants. But if it does break that death line, if it does break that $4 line, that's the first sign of blood. If it breaks that 380 line, it's game over. Game over. So how did I trade it in the morning, right? How did I trade it? Fuck, it was not easy. It was not easy. So my mentality was that, okay, if 380 is the death line and it's kind of trading around $4 pre-market, if it breaks 380, I'll at least take a starter position. I'll at least take maybe 2,000 shares or 3,000 shares with a 10 or 20 cent risk, knowing that I'm okay losing $500 because I'll know that if it goes higher, I could size up and make it back. So NCTY, right out of the fucking open, it tanked. It tanked straight fucking up. And I had an order to short 2 or 3,000 shares at 380. And I didn't fucking fill a thing. So here I am thinking to myself, okay, death line is broken. The chart is broken. I can't get an entry. What the fuck am I going to do next, right? What the fuck am I going to do next? And again, I thought to myself back in my head, Mondays, you fuck up on Mondays. You always perform the worst on Mondays because you feel like, you're getting over patient. I mean, you're getting over anxious. You're getting over eager. You want to nail that setup. So I just let it do its thing. I let it do its thing and I let it fucking trade. And that was that. So as this was kind of happening, CIFS was moving pre-market. So, I talked to Bao about this setup, and it was kind of funny because we had like a little bit of a realization when I was trading the setup. And what I saw on CIFS was there was a massive amount of selling pre-market. There was a massive amount of fucking overhead resistance, and pre-market, the chart was fucking failing. Pre-market, the chart was tanking. So my ideal entry for that setup was to short around, CIFS, no, was it CYCC? Sorry, CYCC. My bad. No, CYCC was what I was talking about. So CYCC, I saw that they were selling pre-market, and the line was around 140 was the top, and 130 was the kind of line where it was rejecting. And what I ended up seeing is that level kept rejecting. So as it was kind of bouncing up, as it was kind of moving back up, I shorted a small piece. And the reason why I shorted a small piece is, Bao's like, because I said I'm shorting 500 shares at 117, 118, whatever the hell it was. And I said, I'm shorting some here. He's like, why are you shorting it? You're going to make fucking 7 cents? You're going to make fucking $50 on it? And I said, no, the reason why I'm shorting that is because I feel FOMO from NCTY. I feel FOMO from CYCC failing. And by only shorting 500 shares, which is a fucking minuscule position, I got that FOMO out of my system. And by getting that FOMO out of my system, it helped my brain. So I felt FOMO in the morning. I felt overeager in the morning. I felt the worst type of emotions. And by just taking a small fucking trade, such a minuscule 500 share position on a $1 stock, that got my brain clear. That flushed out all the bad psychology and all the bad mentality out of my head. So that trade wasn't about making money. That trade wasn't about making $50. That trade was about curing my psychology. I had to pay that little small amount just to cure my psychology for the day, and it was the best fucking thing that I could have done. It was the best thing that I could have done. And yeah, it fucking popped and dropped, and I made fucking that $50, but that wasn't the point. The point was to cure my head. So CYCC was done, NCTY was done, and here comes the CRIS stock. And the thing with CRIS was it had unlimited borrows. So here we have a day one stock that is pretty much easy to borrow, that is pretty much available everywhere, that NCTY is dead and CYCC is dead, and this might be the next runner-up for that hot chick on the day. So my mentality was, I know Bao was looking to scalp it and Bao was looking to trade, but my mentality was it's day one, it's so easy to locate, it's so this, it's that. Why the fuck am I gonna step in front of a train? I'd rather let it tank and then short the bounce when it tanks. That was it. So we identified the death line on CIRS as 225. And what that means is I want to see it break 225, and then I want to see it bounce towards that level, and I want to short that bounce. So right before this Instagram live walk that I did, you could see that it broke that 225 line, went down to 210 maybe, I don't remember the exact chart, and then it bounced towards VWAP at 225, 226, 227. So that was the perfect trade for me. So I let it tank the entire fucking morning. I let it fucking get destroyed. I let the chart break, and then when it bounced, I think it was like 10:45 or 10:30 in the morning or whatever it was, it bounced from 217 to 225 and then went down to 210. So what I ended up seeing is that VWAP line coincided with that 225 death line. So I took a small short, 10,000 shares at 223, and I covered for 10 cents at 213 and made $1,000, and that was my day. So at the end of the day today, I traded really well. I didn't make a shitload of money. Just because you trade well doesn't mean that you're gonna make fucking 10, 20, 30, $40,000. I traded well, and I made a little bit amount of money by just doing the right thing. And to me, what I've learned about my trading is that I'm not there to make the most amount of money. I'm not there to fucking pull out $5, $10, $15,000 a day. My biggest goal as a trader is to make the most amount of money with the least amount of stress as possible. And today, if I'm only working an hour a day trading and I'm making $1,000 after fees and locates and all this stuff, to me, that's a win. To me, that's progress. To me, didn't get stuck once. I didn't, oh my God, I fucking tanked. Like, fuck. Shit. Anyway, so see, yeah, it's gonna fucking tank, and that stuff is gonna happen. And yes, maybe I missed out on another $1,000. Yes, I probably missed out on some money, but to me, if I'm trading in a low stress environment, if I'm trading with no stress and I'm trading without getting trapped and not drawing down, bro, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Even if I'm making $1,000 a day, that's $5,000 a week, which is, 20 grand a month. That's still fantastic money. We always forget how far a dollar goes in the market. We always forget how far all this shit goes because we don't see it in front of us. We only see numbers on a screen. We only see fucking up, down, red, green, yellow, like you see lines, boxes, this, that, all this crazy shit. But in the real world, if you could work an hour a day and pull out $1,000 without drawing down or without having stress, why the fuck would you ever try to do anything else? Why would you ever try to do anything else? $1,000 is enough steaks for fucking a month. It's enough beer for Bao for one weekend. It's so much money. It's so much money, but here we are. If you get into the habit of making more money and more money and more money, that small amount of money that you make hurts your mentality because you feel like you're not performing well enough. You feel like you're not doing well enough. And that's where the psychology comes back into play. If you kind of just focus on the process, if you focus on trading well, if you focus on the death lines, if you focus on doing the right things and being patient, like that's why you're here. You're here to do this. And the process of sizing up is not easy, but the first step to sizing up is building your bankroll. You need to have enough money to be able to sustain larger losses because there's a learning curve with adding size. There's a learning curve with scaling up. You can't just go from 500 shares to 10,000 shares to 20,000 shares. It's in cycles. 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500, 1,500 to 2,000. So get a tier system. Reward yourself. If you trade well using 1,000 shares in January and you feel like it's time to size up, you use 15,000 shares in February. If you feel like, 1,500 shares in February. If you feel like you're trading well in February and you're ready to size up again, use 2,000 shares in March. If you feel like 2,000 shares in March is a little bit too much, then in April, go back down to 1,500. So this is a process. You don't have to go 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000. And something that I've learned that Bao has really helped me with is just because you say that you're gonna have a max size does not mean that you use it on every setup. There's certain setups that you know are higher probability setups. There's certain setups that you know that you have a higher win rate in. There's certain setups that you know that all the things line up, and that setup is the one that gives you the ability to size up larger. So, just to recap all this stuff, it wasn't a big day. It wasn't anything monumental. It wasn't anything spectacular. But I made money trading stress-free for an hour, and now the trading part of my day is over, and the rest of my day is focused on MIC. That's exactly what I want to be. I'm sitting there for the rest of the day answering PMs, working on some business stuff, and working on a bunch of different things for the members because now my brain is clear. If my brain is clear, NCTY is at 208. Fuck. I did say it was going to go red, but anyway, it's... this shit's gonna happen, and they're gonna tank, and they're gonna do all this stuff. But our job as traders, our job is to be able to pull money out of the market. And if we're identifying these setups, and we're identifying the death line, and we're identifying the dilution and all this crazy shit, like it just makes sense, man. It just makes sense. There was certain times in the room that I mentioned that I cannot chase these setups. There are certain times in the room that I said I can't short these at low of the day. I just can't fucking do it. And to me, recognizing all these bad psychological traits of myself and trying to improve them is why I'm doing these recaps. Something as simple as shorting 500 shares of CYCC, took Bao a second to realize, like, oh shit, that is a good idea. Get that FOMO out of your system, because if I didn't get that FOMO out of my system, who knows, maybe I would be shorting or I would be chasing CRIS. Maybe I would have been chasing NCTY just to get that feeling out of my fucking system, because I need to expunge that feeling first so I could trade well mentally. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about regarding those trades. But if you guys have any questions, we could open it up to kind of like a Q&A now. and we could take it from there. I'm gonna take a short break from walking. I feel fucking out of breath. Wait a sec. Whew. This fucking pole falls, I'm gonna bug out. My Bow Matrix shirt on, my MIC hat. So that's the key, guys. The key is to focus on the proper process. The key is to recognize what's working for you. You know, I lose money after 11 a.m. I lose money after that time. That doesn't mean that I cannot make money during that time. It means that the probability of me making money after 11 a.m. is so low. So why am I going to sit there from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. trading low probability setups just to get the anxiety out of my body, just to get the addiction out of my body? What I do now is when I'm done trading for the day, it doesn't mean that I go and I jerk off and I do all these crazy shit. I still sit at my desk, but what I do is I X out my level 2 boxes and I just keep charts open. And the reason why I just keep charts open is this eliminates the feeling of having to trade because the level 2 box is out of the way. I can't put an order entry. I can't do it. So that's how I protect myself from FOMO. There's been certain times where I've called up my broker and said, you know, lock me out for the day or do what you have to do to get me out for the day. So it's just a matter of realizing what's working for you. You know, Bao is better at scalping. So he scalps the channel all fucking day, even though I tell him to leave. And you better fucking leave. After I'm done with this Instagram live, if you're still at your desk, I'm going to kill you. But the point is recognize what works for you. Track your trades, track your setups, track your statistics. I know that on Mondays, I get a lot of anxiety and I get a lot of overeagerness. So what do? I cut myself early. I size down. I wait for the deadlines. I just wait and wait and wait. And you know what? I'm totally happy making a little bit less money today because that means that, you know, the process is still working. My process works. Everything works. And it's just a matter of not every single day is going to be a home run. You know, if I go fishing, right? There's a fucking pond over here. Imagine I go fishing in this pond. Imagine I go fishing here and I throw my fucking fishing pole. One of these days, I'm going to catch a fucking massive fucking flounder or massive bass or massive bluefish. But other days, I'm going to catch a small fucking snapper. It's just a matter of, you know, recognize days are not going to be giant winners. Not all days are going to be fucking home runs. Value fucking animal. So that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. That's kind of what I want to talk about. So we could kind of open up to Q&A right now. It's 11:22 a.m. Probably gonna get breakfast after this and then back to fucking work. That's it. And imagine I made $1,000 today. I'm gonna go spend $20 for breakfast, right? It's just a matter of putting that shit into perspective. That's why I have a bunch of singles on my desk. And a lot of people make fun of me and they say it's stripper money and they say all this shit. But looking down and visualizing $1,000 in ones makes me, it's like a fucking stack of that thick. It makes me recognize, wow, this money does go a long way in the real world. What is my favorite pattern? My favorite pattern is the stocks like BPTH and AWX and all these overextended supernovas. What I've recognized is anytime these stocks tend to move like crazy, if you're shorting the first red day after a big initial run, that's usually going to be the easiest amount of money. But problem is, how do you not get FOMO and attack it before that first red day? I use 1-minute charts. I only exclusively use 1-minute charts, and I use 5-minute charts to help me identify where the death line is. Are there any particular floats or setups you avoid? I personally don't like shorting day one low floats of less than 2 million shares in the float. If a stock has less than 2 million shares in the float, it's trouble. If a stock, also another setup that I don't like playing is I don't like catching a falling knife. I don't like buying stocks that are down 50, 60, 70% just because they're on sale. Because if they're down that much, it's probably not something good and it's probably not going to come back. Alex, can you please put out the DVD course syllabus on the website? If you go to the website, myinvestingclub.com, and you click on DVD previews, it shows you trailers of all the free DVDs that we offer. I did not have a natural ability for trading. I definitely did not. I came into trading in college knowing nothing. I knew fucking nothing. I knew so nothing that I didn't even know what day trading was. I thought the only way to fucking trade stocks was you had to buy and hold it. I didn't know that there was something called day trading or scalping or shorting. I didn't know fucking anything. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. And that's why I think everyone could do it. That's why I think that with the proper education and proper tools, you could fucking learn too, because I truly knew nothing. I knew nothing to the point where my biggest turning point in trading was learning what the fuck shorting was. It was learning that I could make money when stocks go down. How important is level 2 in my initial entries? Number 1 is I always look at the chart. I always look at the chart first, and I use the level 2 to confirm that. So let's use an example. If I see that the line on CRIS is 225 on the chart, and I see no sellers at 225, but I see some sellers at 227 on the level 2, then I know that, okay, maybe it might be advantageous for me to take a starter position at 226, risking that wall at 2.27. So what does that mean? Short 2,000 shares at 226, and if that 10,000 share wall at 227 looks to break, I cover and then I short higher. So that's how I use the level 2 to my advantage. I first get the lines in place, and then I use the level 2 to kind of emphasize or does order and balance mean anything to you? No. How'd you educate yourself? Bao has helped me a lot in my journey, right? So I've been talking to Bao for God knows how many years now. God knows. And it was like he was kind of mentoring me without me even realizing it, because all we were doing is every single day talking. And, you know, his process was he was fantastic at entries. He is unbelievable at entries because he's so patient. But for me, I'm patient with my exits, right? So we had an ability to help each other. He was always great with the entries, and I was always better with the exits. And, you know, it's not a problem exiting early. It's not a problem. It's just sometimes there's certain opportunities where you need to hold longer. How will you know if a stock is a gap and crap or a dip and runner? Good question. So look at NCTY's daily chart, right? Look at NCTY's daily chart. If you look, the last 2 times that it ran, it gave up the entire move. So that's the context clue. That's the context clue for that trade. What we recognized, or what Bao recognized, is that if the last 2 times that it ran, it pulled back, number 1, what that means is he's not looking for a long, right? So he already eliminated the long trade out of that setup because he saw that the last 2 times that it ran, it gave up, right? So step 1 was using the chances or using probability to determine that, if the last 2 times this stock ran, there's a high probability that this time it's gonna fail too, right? If the last 2 times it failed, there's a high probability that's gonna fail too. So I don't want a long on day 1. So what comes next? Identify the death line. 380. Identify the death line, and then short it if the death line breaks, and that's it. It's like we've gotten the system so fucking easy on day 1s now because we have such a fucking hardcore process for it. What was my childhood dream job? Wow, that's a fantastic question. I always wanted to be like a race car driver or like a airplane pilot or something kind of crazy. I love like roller coasters. I love skydiving. I haven't been bungee jumping yet, but you know, my dream job would be to like test drive cars like around the track. Like I know Ferrari has their Fiorano track in Italy, so it would be fucking sick if I, you know, one day, that was kind of my dream back then, one day like just drive their fucking new cars like the LaFerrari or the fucking 458 or all this crazy shit, driving it around their car, like their tracks, like being a race car driver. That's always been like my favorite thing. Yeah, so now we have a process on day 1 squeezers. We're not afraid anymore of these plays because here we are on day 1. We have a process set up. We have the ability to now short these massive day 1 runners by using patience, by using our death line strategy, by using all of these things that, you know, Bao and I have been kind of looking over and studying for years and years and years, that we finally created a process for it because of MIC. MIC has made us better traders. MIC has made us better at our fucking trading because we're so focused on doing the right thing to help members out that it keeps us safe as well. me see what else. Let's do an MIC trip to the Nürburgring. Fuck, man, I would love that. That'd be so cool. I've never even been to Germany, and I've always wanted to kind of go because, like, my first car was a 1998 BMW 540i, and it had 200,000 miles on it. And it was a fantastic, fantastic car. I was really grateful for getting that car. 1998. It was a V8. It was sick. And my dream was to take that car to the Autobahn in Germany and just fucking max it out. But obviously that didn't happen. After it hit like 220,000 miles, it got fucking destroyed. But what languages do I speak? I speak English, I speak Armenian, I speak Turkish, I took Chinese in high school, I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I speak English, Armenian, and Turkish. That's it, guys. That's it. Can't wait for the sun to come out. Hey, Vala. Sick. Yeah, there's a lot of Middle Eastern, Turkish, Armenian people in MIC. So if you're Armenian, Turkish, don't be afraid to talk to me in your native language. I could totally understand. All right, guys. I'm probably going to wrap it up here. If you have any other questions about me or MIC or anything like that, you could email tosh@myinvestingclub.com, or you could check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/myinvestingclub. And that's it. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot for coming through, and I hope I was able to help you guys out. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Thank you.